Hi, so I'm going to teach you some different press-ups, and I want you to just try these at home. I'm going to recommend one or two that may not be ideal for very small children, but let's follow along and let's set you a bit of a challenge now, particularly for high grades, because I know you do a lot of press-ups, but let's show you some different press-ups. Let's start, we're going to do little sets of 3, so that's fairly straightforward, but we're going to start with the standard press-up. Let's just get it absolutely right to start with, just to help out some of the lower grades here. So make sure when we do a press up, we are two shoulder width wide. There's our own shoulder width, go an extra half that way, an extra half that way, and we've got a nice wide position. What we're aiming for when we do this press up, and I'm going to come from an angle so you can see me, is we're going to aim to obviously get our nose in the middle. So we're aiming to try and get our nose to there. But if we can, see if you can make sure that when you come down, your arm is completely straight. It's not too far that way or too far this way. In other words, a lot of people try and do press ups with their hands quite close together and it makes it a lot harder. So see if you can go a bit wider, go 2 shoulder width wide, and make sure if you can, so you can get your nose in the middle. Now, not a lot of people struggle with the press ups, so even just a quarter press up, keeping your body nice and straight. I see a lot of students making mistakes. They've got the hands in the right position, heads in the right position, but then they either do the headbutt or the pelvic thrust. Make sure we're looking for that position there. Let's just very quickly recap on getting the basic press up correct. Let's look at the next press up, which is going to be a diamond press up. Okay, so diamond press up. So the idea is you create a diamond shape, which is going to be your first finger and thumb touching each other like so. And there's our diamond shape, hence the reason why I call it a diamond press up. Now when we do our normal press up, the press up is coming, so our head is going in between the hands like so. With the diamond press up, it's actually coming to the chest. Now we're only going to do 3 for practice, for demonstration purposes, but I want you to practice as many as you want in your own time to try and get this technique correct. So what I see a lot of students doing with this one is they try to get their head to it because that's what they're used to with a normal press up. If you can aim to get your chest to the ground there, again I'll show you, slow it down a little bit so you can see it, chest there and back up again. Try to avoid doing this where you completely relax and then it's almost impossible to push back up again. You've got to keep obviously only your toes, ball of the feet and the diamond shape on the floor, rest of the body stays off the floor. So let's have a quick go at 3 just so we can have a little practice. 1 and up, 2 and up, and 3 and up. Nice and simple, okay? So again, start with 3, build up, see if you can do a little bit more each time. Get confident with it. Again, normally we're in less than high grades, we might do sets of 10. At most, I tend not to get you to do more than that because I appreciate a lot of people find those press ups difficult, but whilst you're at home, have a little practice, get this technique looking good so you can come back in the class and be one of the best in the class, okay? Let's look at the next press up, which is a wide press up. So next press up is a wide press up, and we're just going to go as wide as we can hold. The wider you can go, the better. Obviously make sure to start with, if you're brand new to this, obviously try to make sure you got a good grip, you're not too slippy on the floor. We don't want your face to bash on the floor. So we're going to go over the 2 shoulder width wide for this press up here. So again, I'll come from actually I can do it straight on for this one, so you can see a little bit wider. What we do for me is our normal press up position, we're going to go wider. And what little tip here is to make sure the hands go, the fingers turn outward. You get a much better grip. It's quite hard and it's quite difficult on your shoulders to go super wide with the hands because the hands start to turn upwards. So we're going to take the hands out now. We're going to go really as wide as we can. So we're quite close to the ground. Keep a little bit of bend in those elbows and see now if you can try some wide press ups. Now you might be like my floor here, you might be quite slippy. I've got a little yoga mat which you might find easier. We're going to be using that for some of the stretching in the classes. So you might find you might find that a little bit easier to go wider. Go as wide as you can. So you're very close to the ground. So it's a tiny little press up. It's going to put a lot more pressure on your arms, and see if you can try a wide press up. Next press up we're going to try, a little bit more difficult, a little bit harder, and this is one I'm going to recommend you take your time looking at, and one that's going to be hopefully suitable for adults. Children, I want to just show you, I'm going to show you a more basic version of it. We're going to do a knuckle press up, okay? If you want to get something soft in, that's cool. I'm going to do it on the wooden floor, but you can do it on any surface you wish. Just make sure you follow the rules safely. Let's have a look at this one. Now knuckle press ups, what we're aiming to try to do, obviously as with this is all really about keeping your punch in the right position. And when I trained in Taekwondo for 27 years, we only ever did knuckle press ups. So this is something quite familiar to me and quite familiar to Taekwondo, but obviously we appreciate we only rarely bring it into freestyle for safety, but it is a technique that is safe to do if you follow the rules correctly. Make a fist, obviously it's no good. What I see a lot of students doing is bringing their thumb in as it's some kind of support. You're not going to have a strong knuckle position from there. So I want to make sure your thumb is in the correct position, fingers in, thumb in position. Keep the wrist nice and straight, which is what you must do for the punch. So it's getting you to make sure you have the correct fist position. And also we're going to put the weight on, not the whole surface, but these two big knuckles here. In reality, when you do hit somebody, those are primarily the two knuckles we're going to use, because all the strength lies in that straight line there. We hit very hard on those two outer knuckles there. There's a risk of the wrist turning and breaking the wrist. So we aim for those two big knuckles there. So we need to go just slightly wider than normal press up. I recommend just slightly over the two shoulder widths, so we can make sure that the floor is the only bit touching those first two knuckles. Let me show you how that looks. So you can see from there already, I haven't gone over. The moment you start to come in closer, you're going to go over to the side, and it's not dangerous, not uncomfortable any more than a normal knuckle press up, but it's just not the right position. It's going to make the press up harder for you to do. So into knuckle press up position, going to go nice and wide with that. I'm going to try now, see if you can try just 3 of those to get used to the technique. Now, juniors, younger children, and lower grades, I want you to try this. Don't go into the full press ups yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into knuckle press up position. Just see if you can. Even just being in that position, you're going to feel the pressure on the two big knuckles from there. So I'm happy for juniors just to get that feel there. They want to just take one leg back, just to start to move in towards that press up position. That's great. If they can, see if they can just hold it there for a few seconds. If you feel uncomfortable being on a modern floor, get a soft surface in again, carpet, quite good. Don't get 2 great big cushions in, that's not going to work. You're probably going to slide. So try a knuckle press up a little bit harder. Lower grades, juniors, I recommend just holding that press up position if you can. Don't have to even take your legs back. That's position 1 for basic juniors. Position 2 is to take one leg back. Let's come forward a little bit. Position 2 is to see if you can hold it there for a few seconds. If it's uncomfortable for you before you take your legs up, obviously don't do it, okay? It's just to show you something a bit more advanced. The next one I'm going to try, a little bit harder again. I'm setting you a challenge here, and again, not all of these will be suitable for juniors, and I'll tell you why and when. The next one I'm going to have a look at is the fingertip press up. Okay, so the fingertip press up, we are going to aim to take our fingers nice and wide from this one. In fact, what I also recommend is this first finger here is just go nice and wide and bring it down a little bit, so you can space out those fingers as wide as possible and bring them in. Imagine you're sort of holding a tennis ball. You've picked up a tennis ball and you're holding a tennis ball like so. So it's no good going very wide on this. You've got to bring the fingers in. There's not going to be a massive gap in there. You've got to think of the tennis ball being in that position there. Again, this is one that I recommend for lower grades and for juniors, younger children. Just try, as we did with the previous press up, the knuckle press up, just try it in position first, then with one leg, then with both legs back, and see if you can hold it. You don't have to do the press up. For adults and higher grades, higher juniors, older juniors, we can try the fingertip press up from there. So what we do from here, again, normal shoulder width apart, or 2 shoulder width apart, so normal press up position. And what we do from here is we're going to just bring the fingers in. Go too wide, it's difficult. If you can bring your fingers in, that's great. Make sure I've got room behind from here. Appreciate it's difficult for space. We're going to go up onto into fingertip press up position. Again, if you're new to this, just hold that position. Just see if you can hold it there. That's more of a junior position. See how that feels. Close those fingers in. Try and spread the fingers out, particularly the first finger and the thumb. See if you can now, lower grades, juniors, see if you can just get one leg back. See how that feels. See if you can just take that up for a second. Just take the knee up. See how that feels. See if you can hold it there for a few seconds. Okay? Shouldn't be painful in any shape or form if this is done correctly. Just bring those fingers in nice and tight. So you don't have to do these at all. Just have a look, see how they're done. And again, so from that position there, those that can do it, let's see if we can do 3 fingertip press ups. Again, start with 3. If you're confident with that, that feels good. Maybe next time, build up to 4, build up to 5. Okay, we've covered normal press up, we've covered diamond press ups, we've covered knuckle press ups, we've covered fingertip press ups. The last one I'm going to try with you is going to be a messy press up. Okay, now there's lots of other variations of press up. These are the ones that we would normally do within a class, particularly some of the fingertips and knuckle ones we try a little bit now and again in higher grade ones because obviously people are less comfortable with them. But let's try the messy press up next. This is our 5th and final press up. So what we're going to try and do from here is from a normal press up position, we just tend to bring one hand up and one hand down. We can also go wider and closer in as well. And what we do from here is, as we do the press up, as we push back up, the hands will change position. Now I'm going to do a simple messy press up to start with, where we simply just change from high to low with the hands like so. So let's see how that looks from here. So start with the press up position slightly wonky, okay? Or messy is obviously the press ups referred to it. So as we go down, we push up and we get a little slide. Now if you're on carpet, you may not get that. So let me show you, if you're on carpet, you might find that harder. Start with a messy position, come down, you can do change, change, then press up. Change, change. Change it wider, make it more difficult. Again, higher grades. See if you can get that change. So as you push up, you've just got a little bit of weight off your hands then, that's that opportunity to change. So we've covered 5 press-ups. We've covered our main press-up, we've covered diamond, wide press-ups, knuckles, we've covered fingertip, and we've covered messy. 5 press-up challenges for you to try. See if some of those might be new to you, and again for safety, beginners, lower grades, younger children, particularly that one, the knuckle, and the fingertip, I want you ideally to just try it without even taking the weight onto the hands. Just get the fingertip positions right and the knuckle positions right. Don't need to do a full press up at your level. At your age, start nice and gently, just try a basic introduction to that. See how you go with that. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.